Hi, I'm Jim, and together with my wife Jennifer, we'll be hosting this series of informal conversations about Christian marriage.
The topics are based on chapters from the book Happy Together, the Catholic Blueprint for a Loving Marriage, written by John Bozio. This session is from Chapter 2, Once Upon a Time.
We invite you to celebrate your love story. Did you know the Bible is a love story? The Bible tells of God's love for humanity. His relationship is often described as a marriage covenant. He's the lover and we are his beloved. God intervenes to help and protect his people. He's patient with our stubbornness, faithful and forgiving of our betrayals, and self-giving to the point of dying on the cross to save us.
The love story is the language God has chosen to help us understand him and to help us understand ourselves. Each married couple's love story parallels in many ways God's story. At the same time, each couple's life is intimately intertwined with God's love story.
God's love story began with the creation of the universe and of the first couple. How did your love story begin? How did you meet? What attracted you to each other?
You better start with that one.
Yeah.
You remember?
We don't agree on how we met.
In a bar. At a fraternity house.
It was a Saturday night. It was a blind date.
We went to a Chinese restaurant on Broadway. It was a blind date.
I'll never forget it. She had a red and white striped shirt on.
I was knocked off my feet. I was like, wow, who is that person? I need to get to know her.
We worked at the same place.
Her brother, who was my boss, told us to just work and pretty much stay away from each other. And so we didn't.
And we were introduced. And for me, it was love at first sight.
I thought he was handsome and I was really excited and wanted to get to know him better.
I was trying to dance with her for 2 or 3 weekends, but everybody else was getting in front of me.
And after that, I couldn't get rid of him.
I was like, whoa, I really like this guy. And I thought he was so handsome and wanted to meet him again.
And I looked up across some file cabinets and saw the prettiest smile I have ever seen smiling at me.
I was thinking, she looks pretty interesting.
I just thought that he had nice eyes.
Do you remember how we first said I love you? I remember that I said it first.
Yes, you did.
We never looked back after that.
And the rest is history, and that's almost 26 years ago.
Love stories begin in different ways, but if they are to last, they all require commitment. God's love story is founded on commitment.
God promised Abraham that he would make him the father of a great nation, and that he would give his descendants protection and a land of their own. In return, God asked for faithfulness.
Marriage, too, is a relationship that demands commitment. It is a promise to be faithful, to always protect each other, and to seek what is best for our spouse.
The promises of the marriage covenant are proclaimed in the wedding ceremony. Do you remember what you promised in your wedding vows?
I, Steve, take you, Kim, as my lawful wedded wife, to have and to hold.
Through the good times and the bad times.
In sickness and in health.
For richer, for poorer.
To love, honor, and cherish.
From this day forward. I'm actually doing this better than the day I was married.
Say my vows in Spanish.
So I have no idea what she said.
When we got married, it was raining, so I can't remember a whole lot.
To stay with each other no matter what. We made a vow before God.
To cherish each other.
We promised each other an unending commitment to always love each other.
Through the good and the bad.
No matter what.
As long as we both shall live.
To love her as Christ loves the church.
When Beppe got sick, our vows were reassessed, and this was the time to put them in action.
I was diagnosed with cancer in 1999, and I was able to witness firsthand his promise to me in sickness and in health. He was my caregiver for 8 years.
How we live daily reflects the vow that we've actually taken with each other.
Have it to hold from this day forward, in better for worse, for richer for poor, in sickness and in health, for sake of all others, always and forever.
What he said.
In the Bible, we find that the relationship between God and Israel is punctuated with many moments of joy. There's joy when God delivers his people from slavery, when he feeds them with the manna,
Or when he quenches their thirst in the desert.
and when he gives them the promised land.
In much the same way, all marriages have many moments of joy. Do you remember some of the happiest moments in your marriage?
Our most joyful moments were when he proposed to me, like our first kiss.
Becoming engaged.
Our wedding day.
Right, buying our home, our first home.
Buying a house.
Getting our dog.
Our trips.
Anytime when we're out traveling together.
We like the beach.
The day that our son was born.
It's the birth of our 3 daughters.
And I remember when he was born and they handed him to me to hold, and I just looked at him, and what came out of my mouth was, "It's a baby." And the nurse was like, "What was she expecting?" And I mean, it's like I was expecting a baby, but still, it was just so powerful.
Watching Kayla grow up. I mean, she's 17 now, and she's a beautiful young lady.
One of the most joyful moments in our marriage was being able to experience Cursillo.
Our children graduating from high school and leaving. Another great time.
The news that I was cancer-free, that was a joyful day for all of us, for our whole family.
When Pepe finished his first treatment.
Yeah.
That was a very joyful moment in our marriage.
A great day at the Kentucky Derby one year. Fabulous day.
Fabulous
it was
day.
a great day.
Fabulous day.
When my wife hits a golf ball well, I just can't get over how happy it makes me feel. Just to see her having fun and knowing that we are learning something that we're going to take into our old age together, that we can do and enjoy, and that we do really enjoy being together in nature and close to God.
Throughout the Bible, time and again, God's people failed to keep their promises. Yet God's love is faithful, in spite of our many broken promises.
Unfortunately, broken promises are also the reality in every married couple's life. All marriages experience ups and downs, pains and heartaches because of unkept promises, big and small.
Do you remember some of the heartaches you've experienced in your relationship?
I know I cause him pain where when I don't try or I'm unable to also consider his point of view.
Bills. I mean, that would be, if you go in the arguments, that would be our most arguments.
I get on to her about money. Money is an issue.
Well, I'm a big, football fan, and so, in the fall I like to, sit down and watch a few games during the weekend. But Martha here didn't have an understanding of that, and I guess I didn't communicate that to her. And
I've caused pain in Patty's life, I know, by being inattentive.
I probably let him down earlier in our marriage with putting my career so far ahead of a lot of things at the time.
Not sticking by his side in a certain situation.
I think we cause pain to each other a lot of times, not even knowing it.
My moodiness has caused Gina some pain because if something's bothering me, I would tend to not say anything.
I love him. I love everything about him. But sometimes I wish some of him would just stay at home, and that when we're out in public, he would just conform a little bit more to societal norms. And he's just, he's kind of a weird dude sometimes. And I just, sometimes it's like, just be normal this time,
Today, God's love story continues, and you're in it. You're the recipient of God's love, and you've accepted to participate in His love story as a married couple. Your relationship is a touch point between humanity and divinity. It's the place where you experience God most vividly, and in that experience, you collaborate with God to create new life.
Through your love for each other, you play a role in God's love story. And through your children, that story is perpetuated generation after generation. Your life as a couple is intimately linked with God's love story.
Now we invite you and your spouse to relive and celebrate your love story. Recall how you met, what you promised, the joys and the sorrows. and your dreams for the future.
Ask yourselves, as a couple, what is the role that God calls us to play in His love story?